you're going to want to pay extremely close attention. The rules are changing, and if you don't know this information, you're more likely to be on the losing side than the winning side. I'm really excited about this. I'm rich. Dean Graziosi, Mike Filsain, Katrina Ruth, Ryan Dice, the one and only Russell Brunson, Sonia Riccati. We have Molly here, Todd Brown, Roland Fraser, Mike Diller, Jeff Walker, Neil Patel, Dennis Hughes. And I think that there's a high risk of mass extinction of internet businesses.
Millions of businesses, big and small, closed, pushing us into the worst global recession in history.
The writing is on the wall because things are changing, things are happening.
Change in the industry that's forcing people to evolve and adapt or basically die.
You need to see this to understand it.
Something like that will happen. You can write it in blood.
If there was a tactic or strategy that you were most excited about, what would it be?
We can go as deep as you want.
I call this content sprouting.
These strategies work for any social media platform.
If you believe it's a good idea, you should stick with that.
When your business becomes part of someone's identity, that's when they stick. This is really crazy. I don't know if I ever shared this with you. Waste the least amount of money to find that winner. That's how you win for $1 a day.
Now, I have people that are on my list for 2 years that are still opening the emails.
To get this many amazing people in a room, just amazing.
We're about to take you behind the scenes.
I love what you're doing here. This is amazing.
If you want to know what's happening in the future, tune in now.
There we go. And we are live. And so today, hello, my name is Rich Schefren, and to my right would be Reed Floren. And what we're going to be talking about today is how to get conversion AI, how to get an AI system to actually write copy like some of your favorite copywriters or some of the most effective copywriters. And so I'm going to put this banner below because we were able to get a actual trial promo link for everyone that's joining us today. And so Reed, I don't know your whole back history, but what I do know about Reed, and I want to share that first, is that Reed has really separated himself. I'm sure he's done a lot of other great things, but he's separated himself from really pretty much everyone else in the community pages of Conversion AI as having been the guy that has figured out how to get the best out of it as far as different macros that he's created, different types of questions he's created in boss mode, which I'm sure we'll get to what is boss mode, and anything that relates to Conversion AI as it relates to improving your marketing or improving your copy or writing marketing. Reed is the guy to go to. So welcome, Reed, and maybe tell people a little bit more about yourself, since obviously there's a lot more to Reed Floren than just that. And any chance it's Florian. Okay. I was watching my favorite podcast yesterday, and it's Kenny Florian but different name. Anyway, so welcome, Reed, and why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself?
Well, thanks for having me on here, Rich. So I started doing this whole internet marketing thing back in 1999. There was a program at the time called alladvantage.com. It's a little banner ad on your screen, and you got like 50 cents an hour for every hour you were on. So I went, I was 13-year-old at the time, and I was in a college play at the time. So I went up to the local college, and I convinced a bunch of college students to sign up under me because you got like 10 cents an hour for every hour they were on. And that went down like 5 levels. So that's how I started making money on the internet, and then delved into eBay and affiliate marketing. I had a stock market website that did really well. And then fast forward a few years, I started building my own email list and working with top internet marketers and helping them with stuff. And I started speaking on stages across the world. And then, just been kind of taking it easy, have had a few different product launches of my own over the years. And then been playing with the AI stuff as of late, the last, 3-4 months, I suppose, I've been really diving into this Jarvis tool and been having a lot of fun with it, sharing with a lot of people how it works and how I'm benefiting from it and how they can use it in their business to help them grow.
Right. And like, would you say that like, were you already interested in AI before Conversion AI rolled out, or was that really what piqued your interest?
So I've bought a good chunk of the AI tools and a lot of copywriting tools over the years, just to kind of see, some tools claim they're AI, some tools aren't at all. Some are definitely AI. There's lots of competitors to Jarvis. From what I've tested, I like Jarvis the most. I like the Conversion AI tool the most. I feel it has the most power, most potential, and a lot of different features in there to make things easy. I like how responsive the team is and how they're always adding new stuff. It feels like every single day they've got a new update. So I'll make a new video for something else in Jarvis that they've put out to share with my audience. And so it's been a lot of fun to see a group that's so passionate about their user community and really implementing what they want. And now with the introduction of boss mode, where people can use commands to guide Jarvis, I think we're going to see tons of growth with the Jarvis tool. It's almost like the kind of ClickFunnels share funnel, if you will. People are creating these recipes inside of Jarvis, and they're sharing what's working for them. And people are sharing those online. And I think we're going to see a lot more people come into Jarvis, and a lot of people that maybe aren't marketers, but have a unique way of presenting things and talking to Jarvis and getting Jarvis to do stuff that none of us have even thought about. Whether it's better blog posts or better emails or better, podcast interviews, different things like that, we're going to see more and more people do with Jarvis, just with thousands of people using it and using these recipes and creating their own recipes. It's really exciting right now with the whole Jarvis tool.
Very cool. And so there'll be people popping in and out as we do this live stream, right? As it always is. And we always try and make it as much of a dialogue as opposed to a monologue. Like, we really would like to get your questions and to, here's your chance to get Reed to answer any specific questions as it relates to you and your business and leveraging Jarvis and some of the AI tools. And also, I guess, like, maybe you can read, like, if you were to talk to someone who didn't know anything about this, right? Like, what, as I'm sure you probably have done, like, what is your favorite way to kind of describe this and then show people what's possible? Because I don't want to cramp your style. I want you to kind of lead this as much as you feel comfortable leading this. And then, I certainly know where, like, my people are generally, like, in their evolution. So I can certainly answer any questions that you have, but I'm very, like, I want this to be more you talking and sharing than me, because you have some really great information to share, some of which you've shared with me already that I've been kind of blown away by.
Awesome. Thank you. So what I really feel with Jarvis is, when you're staring at like a Word document or a Google document, you have that blinking cursor. And you've got this major writer's block because you see that just kind of staring at you, just kind of taunting you, if you will, whenever you open up a blank document. And I think a lot of people really struggle with that. They see that and they're like, oh, I'm going to push this off. I don't want to write. I'd rather watch Netflix. I'd rather go do something else today. And they really put things off. And a lot of that is that fear. And that's where I feel Jarvis comes in, because even before boss mode, before all these recipes, they had these different templates, if you will. And they might create like a list of bullet points or a headline or maybe a problem agitate solution for something. And you would just put in a little bit of text, maybe what your product name was and what your product does. And you'd click generate, and it would come up with anywhere from 1 to 10 different options each time you click generate. And so people would see that and they could start writing whatever they needed to do. They could create their ad, they could create their sales copy with that. And then the next version of Conversion AI, Jarvis, allowed you to continue that thought. And so you had basically a kind of Word document, and you could have it compose, and it could continue writing about that information for you. And now this, I guess, third version of Jarvis is this boss mode. And the boss mode lets you use these commands to really guide Jarvis. You have access to, versions 1 and 2 still of Jarvis, but this 3.0 version, if you will, really lets you kind of take the wheel with Jarvis and guide him to do just about anything. I mean, it's really limited by your creativity or the creativity of someone else that's created a recipe for you.
Makes total sense. And so, what have been the creations that you've taught Jarvis how to create, and therefore created like a recipe or whatnot? What has been most popular that you shared with, like, what has resonated the most with different people, and like, tell me more, tell me how to do that, like that kind of stuff?
Sure. I think a lot of things that have really resonated have been using Jarvis with other tools. I know when we were talking privately, we talked about WordTune and summarizing content. So I've created a ton of different videos on using Jarvis with lots of other programs and how you do it and how you maybe research your market and use Jarvis to create your content for you. I've taught people how to look at, like, the people also ask suggestions inside of Google. So they do a Google search for something, and it's like, oh, here's kind of the top questions people are asking, and use Jarvis to answer those questions. I've taught people how to go to, like, Quora and answer questions on Quora and get a bunch of visitors and a bunch of people checking out their answers that way. And Jarvis is doing all the content creation, getting those people back to their website. I've shared with people how they can really whip up blog posts or video outlines with Jarvis. And basically what I've been doing lately, the last couple of weeks, is creating these different recipes to help people with their sales copy, because I feel that that's probably the biggest hang up for a lot of people. They're really intimidated. So maybe you're wanting to create your website, or maybe you're wanting to put some sort of information product online, or create a software product, and the thing that's really holding you back is you don't know if it's going to sell. You don't know if you can write persuasive words that are going to get people to whip out their credit card and buy from you. And so my goal with these recipes is to kind of give you the basic foundation where you can expand on, you can tweak. You've got a rough draft of some sales copy, and that's going to give you the ability to improve it or even hire a copywriter to flush it out. But this way you can whip up a sales page in 5-10 minutes, and you've got the basic outline of it. And then you do a little bit of tweaks here and there, and you slowly improve it. And then you've got some sales copy that could do a lot of the heavy lifting for you in your business, because it is a salesman that works 24/7 for you, 365 days a year.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so what do you think would be the best way to, like, I see some questions here and I'll pull them up, but before we even get to questions, like, should we run a few recipes for people? Like, what do you like to do to kind of give people a kind of blow their mind of what's possible kind of thing?
Sure. We could run some recipes even for, like, individual people's stuff, if you want to do that.
Oh, that would be wicked cool. So let's see. So a couple things, guys, before we finally dive in here and actually, like, possibly write some copy for you. I do these live streams every Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesdays from 2 to 4, Thursdays 6 to 8 p.m., both Eastern time. And if you're watching on YouTube, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, and share. If you're watching on Facebook, please emote and comment and share. And if you're watching on LinkedIn, please share, comment, and connect. And if you want to have access to more of us, right, then you can go to our Facebook group, Strategic Profits. That's the name of the Facebook group. And read, like, if people wanted to find out more about you, what's your website where they could go?
Sure. I've got one where I've been putting a lot of my Jarvis stuff in. It's called IM, as an internet marketing, reviewandbonus.com. I'll put the link actually to my recipes on there on the private chat. So I don't know if you want to share that with your audience. And that I've been putting some of my recipes on, and some recipes from other people too, to help people out.
All right. So let me just, all right, you created a banner for it? Cool. All right. So that is where you can find the actual recipes so that you could actually program your Jarvis to actually do these things that we're going to show you. And so that's the website, and I don't know what Homer's talking about. Small point, but they do have until late Friday. Not sure what that is. Awesome to finally be able to jump on live. I often end up listening to replays. Cool. Glad to have you, Patrick. And also, guys, if you're watching right now, please let us know who you are and where you are so that we can say hello to you. Duran from Lucerne, and John is in Vienna, and he's hearing us loud and clear. Cool. Reed Floren, what's up, man? Says Cam Fats. And Ruben Santiago says, way to go, Reed. And Malik says, sounds interesting. And can you tell about writing an email sequence where the topics of the mails are kind of related to each other? Is that something that's relatively easy to do? And then I have a follow-up question on that. Like, have you done any kind of autoresponder madness type of email sequences with Jarvis?
Those are both on my to-do list of videos and recipes to make. So I don't have those ready yet, but I will be getting to the email sequencing, and actually I'm going to be doing several templates on email sequences because I think it'll be really nice for product launches, for JV recruitment, and for like cold outbound email and things like that. So I just haven't gotten to it yet, but that's written down on my to-do list of videos and recipes to create. So I will be creating a whole bunch of email related recipes.
Very cool. And you'll find those recipes right there at imreviewandbonus/Jarvis-recipes. Then Michael has another question. Is there a way to implement open loops into an email sequence? Can Jarvis do that?
I think we could. It would be a matter of me playing around with it, but yeah, I think we could make that work. We could definitely hint at, future, like let's say we came up with kind of an outline of what our email sequence was going to be about and maybe the subject lines for those email sequences. We could have Jarvis hint at those inside the emails and open up and close loops that way.
Got it. Like maybe insert cliffhanger here or something like that.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. ABC has a question. What is the difference between augmented intelligence and artificial intelligence?
Guess I'm not familiar with augmented intelligence. Is that maybe augmented reality? Not sure.
Like for Google.
Yeah, that's beyond my pay grade. I don't know.
Elizabeth says, "Great presentation, Reed." And let's see, she already knows she's coming from the future. I'm emoting away on my iPhone. 10,000 hours is several things. Okay. I'm not sure what that means. Glenn in Hypolux. Good to see you, Glenn. Marvelous Jarvis. That's funny, Dr. Vogelman. Greetings from Germany, guys. Great to see you. Very cool. Please explain Jarvis. Okay, well, that's probably a good idea. Why don't you explain Jarvis?
Sure. Well, Jarvis is this web-based artificial intelligence. It allows you to kind of write about just about anything, especially marketing copy or blog posts, emails, things like that. And it uses a tool called GPT-3, among a few other tools, but that's the real technical thing. That's produced by OpenAI, which was something that Elon Musk created and Microsoft has a big investment in. And so Jarvis, or Conversion AI, connects up to OpenAI and a few other tools and some of their own stuff too. And they're able to write copy based off of what the OpenAI tool has looked at on the internet in the past. So GPT-3 or OpenAI kind of looked at a good chunk of the internet from kind of the dawn of the internet up until 2019. And it read like Wikipedia posts and Reddit posts and forum posts and blog posts and things like that. It probably read about 10% of the internet at that time. And it went through there and it figured out how people write and how things kind of flow together. And then what Jarvis allows it to do automatically is it will write a sentence like, let's say it's the quick brown fox. It's going to have a really high percentage chance where it's going to be jumped over the lazy dog. It's going to know kind of what the next thing is with how things flow, how people write. And so it basically mimics different writing styles of different people. You can even give it a tone of voice. So, we could tell it to write more like Rich, and it's going to write more like Rich. or we could tell it to write like Russell Brunson, and it's going to sound more like Russell Brunson, or anyone. You could do Kim Kardashian. It's going to be able to write content similarly to how other popular figures write, or even you could tell it to write in a sarcastic tone, or to be funny, or to be controversial, or to be serious. You can really guide Jarvis on how you want it to speak to your audience. And so with that being said, it's just a tool that augments your writing. It's not a complete replacement for yourself, but it gives you kind of the brainstorming. It gives you a lot of the thinking process of getting something out on paper. Because I feel maybe you're like me, and the first draft of anything is the hardest. Getting that first thought down and really putting it out there is probably the hardest thing to do. There's a lot of research involved. There's a lot of going, how do I want to word this? How do I want things to go? But that's not the case anymore. When you use a tool like Jarvis, it can just start writing for you, and you can go, I don't quite like that. Let me change it up a little bit. Or, whoa, that is a really good way to go with this. And I'm going to have Jarvis continue. Or we need to shift gears a little bit here. And so you really can just guide Jarvis, and you're a bit of a mad scientist and an artist all in one. And this tool is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you. I mean, we've had people use Jarvis to write books in just a matter of days. They'll write a book from start to finish within a week, and they put their book on them. People are putting up blog posts every single day. They're coming up with the scripts and outlines for their videos, for their sales copy, for their emails. There's so much people are doing with this tool. It's just really mind-blowing.
Got it. And I think that answers that pretty well. And Jarvis is just the name, Elizabeth, that they call the AI tool at Conversion AI. And this is a pretty straightforward. No, you still need to learn it, because it's not going to be in its final form, and you're going to have to take the raw that it gives you and tweak it. And if you don't know what is persuasive and what isn't, then you're not going to know how to take it and improve it. So anything to add to that?
No, I'd agree. It basically gives you a good starting point. Also, you could use it to take existing copy or existing blog content and improve it. So I've even taken like other people's content and used Jarvis to kind of rewrite it and guide Jarvis on how I want things to be. And so that's been a really effective strategy for kind of repurposing like private label rights content or content I find online that I like. You have to be a little more cautious about plagiarism when you're doing something like that. It's a little more gray hat, black hat way of doing things.
Right.
But there is a way to do that. And if you're going to do that, you definitely want to run it through like Copyscape or Grammarly Premium, and make sure you're not plagiarizing anyone. But it does give you a great starting point to improve on existing copy.
Totally agree. So it's a great way to get a first draft, and then it's also a great place to take a draft and make it better. All right. John Michelle is in California. Norma is in Los Angeles. Dr. Vogelman is in Coronado Island, San Diego. Michael is from Germany. Nice picture, Michael. You look like an actor in that picture. Evie from Aventura, Florida. Ubdallah from Dubai. He's a software architect. And Isaac, great presentation. Reed Floren. And hey, Rich, this is a really interesting breakthrough. Thanks, Milos. Reed Floren is the expert and incredible teacher. There's no stone unturned with what he teaches, says Jean Marie Baird. And Glenn says, hey, neighbor Rich, great to have you, Reed. And I'm from Sweden and just started using Jarvis as well, and I absolutely love it. Have not created this much content in years, says Patrick. Very cool. Hey, guys. Denny here. Great to see you guys. Greetings from Germany. ARM recipe sounds really powerful. Hey, Rich, Orlando, Florida here. Been a while since I've been on during a live. Stoked to be here. Thanks for all the amazing content. You're welcome. And thank Reed because he's providing it today. How is Jarvis different from, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Writer? I use Writer now to help me with my copy. Please share that link again. Thanks. So what is Writer?
Writer is another tool similar to Jarvis. It's not as powerful in my belief. I do believe they still use OpenAI GPT-3 for that tool as well. There's dozens of tools that are probably hundreds now that are tapping into that. And I've tried a lot of them. I did do a trial of writer maybe a month or two ago. It didn't really resonate with me. It was so limited on the amount of output, at least that I could do in the trial. It was like 5,000 characters or something. I was like, oh, I clicked generate twice and I'm done. So it was like, well, I'm not buying this, especially when I already like Jarvis. And so at that point in time, it was more like the kind of the Jarvis templates where you could put in like your product name and a brief description of something, and it might spit out a headline or some bullet points. And that's at least the version of Writer that I saw a couple months ago. And so I don't know if they've added anything since then, but Jarvis includes that. Plus it includes the ability to continue composing. Plus it has all these commands and recipes. And I think this is going to be the gold standard of marketing tools. I think most people that are in the online marketing, digital marketing space are going to subscribe to Jarvis eventually. It's just a matter of converting you guys over to the cult of Jarvis, if you will, and getting you guys to see some results with this tool. Because I think once you start generating content with these recipes, you start putting out blog posts, you start putting out better sales copy, you start writing those email sequences, you're going to see that Jarvis pays for itself so quickly that there's going to be no point in trying out any other AI tools.
Got it. And I know at the beginning you had no association with Conversion AI. Is that still the case? Like, as far as like you don't benefit in any way, whether Conversion
I'm just
AI,
a customer. Just a customer. I am an affiliate and a customer.
Right.
They've made me a moderator in their group because I reported enough things to spam for them, and they made me a group expert or whatever. So I'm a certified Jarvis expert or whatever, and so I'm listed in a little directory that people can hire me for one-on-one help if they want. But yeah, that's it. I don't have an ownership stake or a partnership stake. It'd be great if I did, but I do not.
Well, listen, Conversion AI, if they know it's smart, maybe they'll cut you in. All right. So what would be the best way to use this awesome tool for something like the touchless agency? For those that don't know, this is not my words. These are his words. It's an awesome biz up for creating your own agency. Well, if you have an agency, then you could use pretty much these tools for your clients. I think that's pretty straightforward. Anything to add there, Reed?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Touchless Agency. I haven't used it myself, but I know there's some guys in the group. One of them that really stands out, his name is Daniel Vega, and he has a whole team of writers. I think he's got maybe 30 or 40 writers under him that are creating content for his agency clients. And he's very active in the group. He's also another certified group expert, and he creates all this training inside the group and shares what's working for him and how he's getting these clients and how he's hiring these freelancers to work under him and to create content with Conversion AI to solve his customers' problems, writing those blog posts, helping him with their Google My Business listings. Those kind of things seem to be what he specializes in. And so there are tons of people. I mean, there's 30-some thousand people in that group for the Jarvis Conversion AI group. And a lot of them have agencies, and they use Jarvis to create content for their customers, create those better blog posts, create better copy, create better emails for them. And it's basically going to be what we're demonstrating on this call. And they're using those recipes, those commands to really enhance their production, make things so simple and easy for them that they get that first draft that they might want to wait a little bit before they send it over to the customer, because the customer might be like, how'd you spit that out in 5 minutes? Right. But you can get that first draft done, send it over to your customer and get their thoughts on it, and then tweak it some more with Jarvis, and you've got the finished product for them.
Really makes sense. And that link is a link. The link below us gives you 10,000 free words written by Jarvis. So Elizabeth, mind blown. You talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I've been thinking a lot about this. Cool. Yep, I've had to do some significant editing with output, but Jarvis is so incredibly useful. How is your tool? It's not his tool. It's just a tool that he uses, and he happens to be a power user. From AI tool available from ClickBank, which are having a lifetime deal. Do you know of anything on ClickBank that is a GPT-3 tool?
I mean, I know there's lots of different ones out there. I don't know about ClickBank. One of the things that worries me, and I've bought a lot of the lifetime tools with this, is there significant server costs with a tool like this? Because each time it goes to generate content, it has to connect to OpenAI and pay them a certain amount for every single character, every word that it's generating. They're paying OpenAI a licensing fee each time it generates text. And so when people buy one of these lifetime tools for $50 or something, I don't know how those businesses are going to stay afloat in a couple months or a year, because they're going to burn through all this cash from selling their lifetime deal. And unless they find a way to get monthly recurring customers at some point, they're just going to go under, because they're going to be like, well, we're running in the hole every month. It was a good run. And they're going to take your money and run is my belief with that. And so, granted, before I got into Jarvis and started using it, I bought all those different tools because I was like, well, one of them might last, one of them might survive. But I've found that since I started using Jarvis more and more, I don't log into those tools at all. Like, I don't use them. They're clunky. They're outdated. They don't.
Well, and that, like, if they're getting outdated already, right? Like, that means they're not keeping up. And if they're not keeping up, the writing is already on the wall of what's going to happen. So I totally agree with you. Yeah, I mean, a lifetime membership is only as good as the people that are offering it, right? So, like, I offer a lifetime on Steal Our Winners, but I've been doing this for 20 years, and I haven't gone anywhere, right? Like, there are a lot of people that have come and gone in those 20 years.
For sure.
The answer to this, Udala, is yes, right? It does come up with lots of topics for you to write about, and there's actually an idea generator in it, right, Reed?
Yes, I mean, it's basically unlimited content ideas you can get from Jarvis.
YouTube Studio just wanted to write a comment. Cool. A recipe for ARM sequences would be fantastic. Something for 180 days or even a whole year would be a dream. That would be a long cult of
That's going to take some time. More than this call.
That would take some time. April says, hey, hey. And then she says, hey, hey again. And lifetime deals often fail. I bought about 10. Lifetime love is Jarvis, says Sarah Jones. And why your tool is so expensive. It's not his tool. Let's just be clear again. And you get 10,000 free words on it. And it is what it is. And cool. It is what it is. And for something good, you generally have to pay for it. So with that, do you want to pull up your screen? Do you want me to pull up my screen and then guide me? Like, what do you think? Whatever's easiest for you.
Whatever works for you. I do have different recipes of mine up in different tabs. So I don't know if that would be easier.
Why don't you, I think you have to click share screen on there. Do you see it below you?
Yep. Hold on. I'm going to set up my preferences for new computer. Bought another Mac since we last talked. Let's see if that'll go. So we'll share. Is it sharing?
It's there. And then I think I need to do this and then add this to the stream. And let's see. There you go.
There we go.
And maybe zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Is that better?
That's a little bit better. Can you guys see well? Let us know. And
maybe if someone has like a sentence about what their product is, just something real brief blurb about what it is. Maybe they've got a course on losing weight or whatever. They just tell us what that is, and we can go forward with creating something for them.
So this is your chance, guys. Like, if you want Reed and I to be working on copy for you right now, you need to give us a sentence to start. And what kind of sentence, Reed?
Just kind of what their product is. Maybe it's a course on making more blog posts, or it's a video series on how to do eBay or whatever their product is. We'll kind of go with that.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. Some people are, he's saying visible. Christopher's saying visible, and Mark is saying blurry, but it doesn't matter, guys. Just let us know what it is. Like, if you guys can't see once we run it, we can always go to mine. But Here's one, but I'd like to pick it out of a few. So let's see if we get any other ones. Insta patients, get more social media patients for your practice. Yes, we're going with that. Oh, let's see. Visible and clear. Okay. So it looks like, okay, there's another one. How to attract affluent clients with seminar for financial advisors. So your choice, Reed. You got Insta patients so far. How to attract affluent clients.
I think we could probably do both.
All right.
It should only take a few minutes. So Insta patients, get more social media patients for your, what was it for?
Practice.
For your practice.
So it's medical practice, I guess. Right, for your medical practice. Yeah, since it's patients, right?
Yeah. All right. So with this one, this is based off of David Fry's 12-step foolproof sales letter template. And so what it's going to do is it's going to kind of write a basic sales page on this. So I'm going to tell Jarvis with different commands. So with this, I can do like Command Shift Enter, and it's going to leave the command there so you can see it after I've generated. So like how to get more social media patients with Insta. I'm going to have it generate some more there. Probably don't need all that.
And just be clear, right? Like, can you zoom in a little bit more just so that people can see like what you're doing there? So this is boss mode, right? And in boss mode, you're seeing Reed here where he wrote, write a how-to headline about the above. And that's basically what boss mode is. You're telling Jarvis what you want done, and then you hit Control Enter, like, or something like that, right? Or Command Enter.
Command Enter or Control Enter if you're on a PC. If you want to leave the command, like I left the write a how-to part, it's Command Shift Enter or Control Shift Enter on a PC.
Got it. All right.
So we created a real basic how-to headline there, and I could have it expand, but maybe we'll do like a secrets revealed.
Okay.
So secrets, let me have it redo that one. Sometimes Jarvis gets a little wonky. So is Insta Patients, is that the name of the product?
It sounds like it. And it's, you know, what he's delivering, it sounds like, is new patients for dental, chiropractic, and medical. Like basically leverage social media to get more clients for your business kind of thing. It sounds like.
Can't spell.
So maybe it's like, yeah, get more patients through social media or something like that, right?
Yeah. I'm going to get rid of the Insta Patients just because I think it's going to get confused with Instagram.
Right. Oh, that makes sense.
We're going to kind of start over here. So get more patients through social media for your dental, chiropractic, medical practice. All right. So that's a little blah on that one.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get it to create something a little sexier. 3 easy ways to get more patients using social media. That's actually coming up with ideas for a course. I'm going to get rid of those ideas, but I prefer that over the other. So let's do a secrets revealed. So this is kind of coming up with different headlines we could possibly split test. So that one, it's a little bit. I'm going to have Jarvis do it again. So that's one of the things with this is it's kind of a matter of trial and error. So like how to get more patients using social media in 3 easy steps. That's definitely basing it off of the headline above, which is fine. Why don't we do like a problem agitate solution? Jarvis doesn't like us today. There we go. Sure. So getting more patients through social media is hard. You're not alone. It's really hard to get people to come in for a visit. It's harder when you don't have the right tools. We've got your back. We've got the social media software tool. Grows your patience using Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, and all that. All right, and then get rid of those hashtags. So this would be more of a personal bio about yourself, but we're just going to have Jarvis kind of whip something up. So like that one's just coming up with kind of a random bio for something. So what I'll do is I'll have it do it again, see if we get something a little bit, that's a little bit better. Obviously, you want it to be your actual name and your expertise and things that you've done, but just to give you an example. And so we'll do like some bulleted benefits for this product. So like, for instance, the direction this one went was like a social media tool. And so it's coming up with some of the benefits that may be the case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Jarvis kind of continue this thought. Command J here. And so it came up with a few other things here. Let's see if I can get it to do any more. Okay, so I came up with a couple other bullet points. You could make them sexier, but it gives you a little bit of an idea. And then this part, if you had some testimonials or social proof, maybe you've been able to grow some practice from 10 clients a month to 100 clients a month, you would have that information here. And then let's say that you have an irresistible offer for this software. And so we'll have that continue. Have it continue some more. Let's get in a few things. Now let's say that we've got maybe a guarantee that we want to put in.
And I don't know if this is helpful or not, but like Christopher put in a bunch of like other just miscellaneous stuff like Valpak coupons no longer working, ? Get people to know, love, and trust you before they book their first appointment. Dominate your local market. Blow away the competition with your short, engaging videos.
Was that the same person that this one was?
Yeah.
Okay. So I get it. So Valpak's like the prescription thing, I think. Yeah, I mean,
is like, is the like agitate, right? Like it's there, like, lots of doctors and places use Valpak and right like that. Like
I think so. Yeah, I think that's something that you can do as things go on in your copy. Like, let's say that there's specific things in your bullet points that you really want to cover. You could use this content description brief area, and you could write a little bit about that, and it's going to help guide Jarvis. And you could even turn that on and off, and you can hide that content, if you will. If you want certain keywords to be more prevalent in that section of the copy, you can put 3 different keywords here. That's really useful if you're writing a blog post, because maybe you're trying to, maybe you've researched what you want to create in a certain section of the blog post. You want it to be talking about dentists, for instance, and there's a couple different dental keywords that you want it to hit. You can put those in there, and Jarvis is going to try to weave those into your writing and make it flow. And so that can be really useful with stuff. And you can turn that on and off and change that content as time goes on with your article or your copy.
Yeah. And would you say like what we've just done here is reflective of how it generally goes, or does it generally go better than this? Does it generally get worse than this? Like, or is this pretty accurate, like based on your experience?
It's kind of garbage in, garbage out. So the different templates will do different things. This is more of like a real basic one to kind of get the ball rolling for someone. And so the more information you can give Jarvis. So let's say that you had, I don't know, like the book jacket for a book, and you had kind of the bullet points of what's covered in that book. You could put those in there, and Jarvis has a lot more to go off of. We gave Jarvis, I don't know, 15 words maybe, and kind of let it run. And so I haven't been guiding it. I haven't been telling it to tweak things, just letting it generate just to kind of show how commands work.
Got it. And so if we were doing this in a way where we really cared about the output, how much information should we be putting up there, like in the beginning?
That would depend on what you want to do. Personally, the more the better in my personal belief with it, because Jarvis, so there's a couple different plans with Jarvis. So there's the regular Jarvis subscription that people are going to have, and it doesn't have access to these commands, and it can look, I think it's like 600 characters above, but in Jarvis boss mode, it's like 2,000 or 3,000 characters. So the more information you can give it, the more Jarvis is going to reference content above it, and it's going to create better copy for you. So if you've got a little bit of a brief on here's what my product is really about, here's what we do for people, and that can even be playing with different modes inside of Jarvis. So let me just take something here. Get more patience. Insta patience. So this is other built-in frameworks, if you will. And this is in kind of Jarvis 1.0, but you would all have access to that too. And let's see if I can generate. I might have to zoom out. There we go.
Got it.
And this mode's kind of fun because it even can do other languages in this mode. So if you were, let's say you only know English, but you want to write something for the Spanish market, you could have it create content in Spanish. Now, you'd probably want someone that knows Spanish to read through it to make sure it made sense, but you could have it do that. But here it's coming up with your AIDA framework, so attention, interest, desire, action, and you could take this information, like let's say you liked one of these, or you like certain elements. Maybe you like the attention on this one, but you didn't like the interest and desire and action. Well, you might like the desire on this one and the interest on that one and the action on another one. And you could copy and paste those elements, and you could put that at the top here. And Jarvis has a little bit more to go off of what your product is. And that's going to create better output for you.
Makes sense. Very cool. And like, what has been the very best, like, out of the gate that you've ever been able to create with Jarvis? Just to give people a range of like what, what they can expect. Like, I would assume that most of them are not like, are probably going to play with it less than you. So odds are is that like wherever you took it, like that might be their high bar too.
I think the one that I found the most rewarding for myself was I was a guest speaker for someone. They do a course on how to write books with Jarvis, and I've been a guest speaker for them several times. But for one of the people that we helped, she was writing a book on some sort of prayer technique that I was not familiar with at all, and I put in a couple words about what the prayer technique was according to her. And we let Jarvis write kind of the beginning of her book. It came up with the kind of the chapter ideas, the outline. It came up with kind of parts of the chapters inside the book. And she was so happy with it that she reached out to me to get a copy of the content I was creating in Jarvis during our demo, because she wanted to use it in her actual book. So I gave it to her so she could just have it. And that was before the boss mode recipes. That was just being able to do Command J and having it compose. So we just kind of gave it a little bit of kind of a sense or two, like we did in the beginning here, and just let Jarvis go and just barely guiding it. And I did, I think maybe two different people's book during like that hour, and both of them were blown away with the content. But I know she was really ecstatic about that, and reached out and wanted it so she could use it. So I think that was a lot of fun. That was the first time I've ever tried to do a book with it. So that was the best part.
All right. So the other one was, what was the other one? The other one was, was it this one? Let's see. Oh, there's a bunch now. So there's how to attract affluent clients with seminars for financial advisors. There's Wine Mark app is a convenient place to sell your wine to high quality clients that buy regularly. There's someone else that has helped musicians get over stage fright, or how to build, grow, and monetize a massive email list with quiz funnels and Facebook ads.
We'll do the first one if we've got time. I've got a couple more templates that we can go through. So it was it was something about seminars.
Yeah, it was how to, hold on. Where was it? Hold on. There it is. How to attract affluent clients with seminar for financial advisors. And maybe put like, should we add some stuff so that we make it a better output?
We could. We could just come up with kind of a bogus product for this if you want, or we could ask them, like it's a 6-week course, or it's a 2-day event, or that kind of thing.
Scott, do you have any more info for us? And I'm looking here. Scott, maybe copy and paste something from your website. That would be ideal. So that we could actually, let's see, or we could look something up here, right? Like, affluent clients. Okay. Track affluent clients to financial. Okay. Here's I'm gonna text you I'm gonna just put it in the private chat, Reed. I'm gonna give you a link that I just found that you could probably pull a bunch of copy from.
Sure. So I'm just gonna take, because I'm not a subscriber to whatever this is. I will. It'll let me.
Beginning.
Some of this. And we're in this one. So this is Bob Serling's Power Copywriting Formula.
Okay.
And so we're just going to paste that in there. Now, there's some other things that we could do with this. So let's say that we even like this as is, and we want to rewrite this. What I could do is I could highlight it, and I could explain it to a 5th grader. And so it's kind of rewriting that sentence. I could keep that if I wanted. I could rephrase that sentence. So that's different things that you could do to help you revise existing content on the internet and use it for your own use. So that's kind of a ninja trick with Jarvis. So we've got a little bit of information there. Hopefully that helps guide Jarvis a little bit here. So I'm going to have it create a list of features for the above. I think that's pulling like the 30 people to create an intimate atmosphere. So it is kind of summarizing some of that and turning those into kind of some features. So here's kind of turning those into some benefits. So we may find that we like some of these benefits. They may guide us with our content. We can even have Jarvis kind of continue its train of thought. And so it may come up with some additional content here that we really like, or we might like it better. And that's something that I've done where I just kind of have Jarvis kind of go on a rampage, if you will, for a bit and see if there's something that I really like. And it's like, oh, like maybe this customer's or this question or this particular sentence I really, really like. I want to make sure I include that in my copy, and maybe I'll get rid of other stuff that it generated because it came up with something even better, just letting it kind of naturally flow with Jarvis. And so that's kind of fun. And so let's have it create an offer for this. So I think a lot of this is a little bit more blog post like, probably from the content we put up above. But it would be a good way to, let's say that you saw that an article in your market that was really popular. It was getting shared a lot. You could take a couple paragraphs, put it into Jarvis, and Jarvis might be able to spit out your own version of that article. And then it's a matter of getting other people to link to it. Maybe you see that an article is ranking really high in the search engines, but it hasn't been updated in a few years. You could write your own version of that article, find the people that are linking to it, and try to convince them to link to yours instead. So that could be a way to really dominate your market by not having to do a whole lot of thinking. You're already creating content based off of what Google likes and thinks is the best answer on the market right now. And so that's a great way to kind of dominate your niche without a lot of research or a lot of effort. So let's see if we can come up with a guarantee. That seems a little wonky. Let's see if we can get it to do a little better here. I think that blog content's kind of throwing it off. Let me try without all this. Let's see. Let's do like a online master class on how to attract. It's using maybe how to attract.
Maybe how financial advisors can attract.
Yeah, how to help financial advisors find affluent clients. Something like that.
And then you might want to get on how out, right? So it'd be a masterclass to help financial advisors.
Yes.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah, cool.
So like that's coming up with a little bit more of what I would have in mind for what kind of features are for something like that particular thing. Let's see if we can come up with some more here. Okay, and so that's just kind of coming up with like a random URL that probably isn't even a website. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it turn those into benefits. So now it's coming up with some of the benefits, and that may help guide the rest of our content, because then it's a matter of turning these bullets into a little bit more salesy bullets, but it does give us some stuff to guide Jarvis. And let's see if we can go a little further here. Let's see if we can get a better offer this time now that we have some better bullets.
Right.
That one kind of made up a testimonial. It's kind of fun. I don't want to use a made up testimonial, but it's kind of interesting. That's coming up with some video ideas. So you can see sometimes Jarvis is a little weird on what it wants to do. Here we go. This is more like what I would have envisioned.
There you go.
And oftentimes that's a matter of kind of tweaking the commands a little bit. Most of these recipes that I've created, it's really been me just having the idea and writing down kind of the gist of what I think it should do and trying it out and going, hey, that kind of worked. And I just keep it, or hey, I had to tweak it. Like if you look at my corresponding video for each one of these recipes, it's me kind of trial and error creating a sales copy from scratch in about 10 minutes for each one. And it's just kind of from idea to completion, trying it out. And so that's really where things go with it. So here we're getting a little bit more of what the offer is and what they're going to get and what it's all including. I think this is the old content. Let me get rid of that. See if we can come up with a guarantee. That doesn't seem like a guarantee to me. Let's see if we can get a... Yeah, it's not the best idea. Let's write a money back. Okay.
That makes no sense.
It's the opposite. Sometimes Jarvis has a mind of its own. There we go. So that's, getting kind of the gist of a guarantee. We could probably have a continuous thought. Okay. Now, I'm having it create a headline and kind of the lead part of your sales letter, just because it has a little more information. Not that that's the best headline, but a little bit of tweaking there, like how to find and attract affluent clients, could be a good start for a headline, and going a little bit more into, coming up with additional headlines with this. Like I could have it come up with another one, even with the same command. Like learning how to market yourself like the professionals and mastering your marketing could be useful. Tweaking and putting a mixture of these two together, you may be able to kind of mishmash it and come up with something that's really hard hitting. So like here's like your opening paragraph. So like your gateway to increased revenue and more powerful marketing message. Comes at a low cost. You get full access to the best online resources, that kind of thing. So let's try to eliminate some objections people might have. That seems a little wonky. That is coming up with some funky stuff. We'll skip the objections for now, because sometimes that just does not want to work. So like here's some stuff you may even want to keep to make sure that you had in there. Like these could be questions. Like sometimes you see at the end of a sales letter, after like the PS, sometimes you see kind of some Q&A, and there might be kind of like 10 different objections that people have, and it answers it. Now you see that a lot with seminars, for example, like where is the event and all that kind of thing. Can I get a refund before such and such date? Those kind of things are in there. So that's something you see. I also see it with info products, like, do I have to download this to my computer and things like that. So those may be interesting things to hit up, either as objections in the copy or something towards the bottom. Let's see if we can come up with some deep pain points. I would say that's probably true. They don't know how to reach their affluent customers, and they want something that's low cost for that. And they want to make more revenue without hiring more staff. They want those wealthy customers, things like that. And how it creates some urgency. So it's not too late to sign up. That's fine. I'll see if I can have it. Actually, that was part of what was in there before. Talk about how it eliminates the pain. See, that's pulling in without hiring more staff, which I think was one of the things up here. It was seeing that So that's where you see when Jarvis is providing output for something, it can go off on a weird tangent if you haven't read what it generates and make a few tweaks, because it's really reading what's directly above it. Now you can stop it from reading what's above by putting in 3 different asterisks, and that'll stop it from reading anything above that line. And then it's just going to be looking at stuff from this point onwards. So if you kind of like something, but you aren't 100% sure you want to keep it, you would put those asterisks in, and that can be a useful way to keep Jarvis kind of on track without losing content that you may want. Let's do like a little bio. Obviously, like I said before, you would want to have a bio that actually fits what you've done and who you are. Like that's not super relevant. I mean, I guess an economics degree could be useful for this, but it's not really what I envision. So that's better. And oftentimes I find that it seems like running the command a second time, it's like Jarvis goes, oh, you didn't want that at all? Okay, let me go with this other variation. And it seems like that second or third generation ends up being the one I keep. That's just what I've noticed. And maybe I haven't written the commands out the best. I don't know. Like I said, there's thousands of people in the group and they're all creating different things. So I'm sure someone's going to take some of my recipes and make them 10 times better. That's just how it is. So I think that was part of what it generated. So maybe we'll have some more credibility. So we'll just pretend that's true, but maybe that person's done some more stuff that could be part of their bio. This is where you would actually have testimonials and not what Jarvis spits out. So maybe we'll have some bullets of benefits. And that may have to be like some of that's a little strange because of what it's spit out of what this person's done. And you can find that, so these don't have to be in the order that I've put them in. I just kind of went with the order of how Bob's thing was. So maybe I wanted to put it here, for instance. So like this one's like hiring people who are making more money without hiring more staff, and effective ways to differentiate yourself and connecting with advisors, things like that. Just because I put it a little bit higher than that additional information. Now, if I wanted to summarize, yeah, it's going off of that other information. One of the things that I've done that has worked well is I will move some of this stuff up. I'll put it towards the top. And that way it doesn't have any of the other content. And so like that's creating kind of what the product and bonus package is for this offer. And it's only looking at this online masterclass to help financial advisors. And that's how it came up with what it thought it could be. Let's go with another generation just to see. So it's kind of what it is. And have it continue. Should have wrote a little bit more here. Oh, I just wanted to do some random stuff. If it comes up with something better. Now I think I'd have to put in more content for it to kind of go here. Let's say that you wanted to have the price of the product. Maybe you've got this information that kind of summarizes what your product is. And that usually you get a little bit more than just $197. You usually get a little bit more in depth. So it gets funny sometimes. Let's go, excuse me, with I will These up here. I mean, we're already at like 1,700 words. I know some of this we wouldn't use at all, but it's kind of interesting with just a short amount of time, how you can get kind of the bare bones of what you might want to do with your copy. And then it's a matter of refining. And you may find that I don't like what it spit out, but let me have it rephrase. And, maybe that one's better and I can go with that one. And I didn't have to think about how to rephrase that information. Maybe it's not grammatically correct. I can have it fix the grammar. I didn't look to see if it was. I think the grammar is fine. Maybe I want it to be a little bit easier. Maybe you're running information through like the Hemingway app and you go, oh, this is a little clunky. Let's make this a little bit easier to read. And so you can explain it to a fifth grader. And so sometimes I will have it kind of alternate between those things. Like maybe there's a paragraph that I kind of like, but I'm like, I don't know, that's really not that good. I will have it, simplify it, explain it to a fifth grader, fix the grammar. I'll kind of use those in succession with each other. And it makes better copy that way. It makes things flow better, either for ads or for emails or for blog posts or even sales copy. It will generate that. It'll make it easier to read, and it'll be at a lower grade level, which will mean more people will be able to read it, digest it, understand, and take action on what that sales copy is. Most people don't read at a very high reading level. So anything that we can do to make it easier for them, especially online. I mean, you look at a paragraph and their eyes just drool over. Whereas you look at sales copy, it's sometimes you have 2 or 3 words and then it's another line break. And a lot of that is because we're visual creatures that will just skim through stuff so fast, and we don't want to read long blocks of text.
And so when you're working on a sales letter, like how much information do you put in there to guide it? Like, do you do one sentence? Are you doing multiple sentences? Like, and what are you trying to give a description of the product? Like, what's the ideal based on your experience?
I think the best thing is to kind of come up with a bit of a description on really what the product is. Maybe you can even have Jarvis come up with what the product is and have it come up with your outline of, oh, here's what we should probably cover. But I would do a little bit of market research. So let's say that maybe you found a book that you like, and you can look at Amazon and their table of contents, and it's going to say kind of what all the chapters are of that book, and go, okay, that's stuff that I want to hit on in my course. I'm going to take that book and I'm going to kind of regurgitate it and make my own version of that book as a course with my own life story. But that's my outline. That's my general outline for my product. And so you might tell Jarvis that you want to write a sales copy about a video program on how to do XYZ, and kind of here's all the bullet points. And you list the 20 different chapters of the book. They're in there. And then you have it create the headline and create the introduction and create the bullet points and the features and benefits and like an irresistible offer and a guarantee. And you get it to do all that. And then you're really just assembling it kind of like Legos. And you're assembling your copy, and you're building something out of Legos, out of these copy elements. You're not really writing anymore. You're just piecing these different pieces together and assembling a new creation based off of what Jarvis spits out. And so you may find that certain commands from different ones, like we haven't even covered some of these. Like I've got Evaldo Albuquerque's 16-word sales letter done. I've got Perry Belcher's 21-step sales letter. I've got other ones that I've been working on today, like a Gary Halbert one that I was working on today. And so you may find that different commands from these different templates or recipes, if you will, that I've created are going to spit out better stuff. Because as I've played with it, I've found out better ways of using the commands, or a better way of describing it to Jarvis, and that makes it go. That's why I've been putting out these recipes, so other people can take what I've done and make it better. Because I firmly believe with 30,000 people in the group, someone's smarter than I am, and they're going to make things simpler or better or easier to understand, or they're going to just speak so eloquently to Jarvis that Jarvis is going to spit out wonderful copy time after time. And so, boss mode is really a brand new thing. It's only been out for a couple weeks for people to use. And so I think we're going to see so much adoption of it and so many people using it. It's going to be so exciting with what we put together and how, from my understanding, it's going to be learning from what other people are doing, and the copy it spits out is going to get even better as time goes on, as more and more of us use it, because they can make tweaks in how the system works. And it's going to spit out better content based off commands that people write for Jarvis.
Got it. And that makes sense. So if you can't find a book, what are some other ways to kind of get that general description? Like, is it like if I'm doing let's say I was working on a Steal Our Winners one, right? So I could type in winning marketing strategies just as a generic in Google to see what comes up, and then kind of cut and paste my way to a solid description that doesn't really require I mean, the way I generally describe it is, but I don't know that this Jarvis really gets this, is strategies and marketing strategies and tactics that are currently crushing it that the world doesn't know about, right? But that generally, at least when I've played with it, doesn't really give it as much oomph as I need. And so there's a book by Barry Fig, Winning Marketing Strategies, right? And says offers proven effective marketing and sales strategies that cover conceivable business situation. The book explains the tools of marketing and sales, from selling an idea to management, judging the merits of research, vital sales promotion, and communication tools and selling tips, which also isn't that accurate, but I could kind of massage that to make it more, right? But I'm just trying to, it just seems and maybe, I'm off base on the question, even because maybe I'm placing too much importance on that original, or the text that you're putting in there, but it's not knowing any better, at least for me, that would seem to be what's critical. The better you do, the better job you do of that piece, the more likely you are to get what you want.
Exactly. So there are different tools. For instance, this one's called SEO Minion, and it can grab all the different header tags. So I just picked a marketing article on Wikipedia, and it's going to grab the different headers. So marketing was header 1 here. Header 2, we've got contents, and then we got definition and concept and B2B and B2C. So this is telling it these would be different things that you may want to cover on something. And I know Wikipedia articles are kind of dry, so you may pick a blog post. Maybe we'll go with one of Ryan Dykes' ones, and we'll do their blog. And I'll just click on this one. I haven't clicked on it before. I'll do SEO Minion. I'll have it grab those headers. Here's some different headers. I could show all of them, and that shows me all. Here's, I guess, a couple different steps they have. I could download that information, so it should download a spreadsheet. Let me download that. I don't want it to go into Windows. I've got Windows and Mac on here. Let me do it in Numbers. And so I could take this information, I could paste that into Jarvis, and I could have Jarvis expand and make my own version of this blog post. And the only thing that I'm plagiarizing is their outline.
Right.
And I could even change that outline if I wanted. It gives me the starting point. I could have Jarvis rewrite that, and I'd have something completely different. But that way, you could create the outline of your course or your blog post or your video, your podcast, whatever you want to do by looking at existing content. There's other summarization tools. I know we talked privately about WordTune as one. There's another one called Genie that I was just playing with right before we got on this call. And they have a way of summarizing an article. So it kind of creates bullet points, very similar to how WordTune Read does. And it grabs that information. And I was using it to create a summary of a sales page even. So I didn't even have to read the sales copy. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. That might be a fun way to write an email that was kind of unique for a sales page that someone else wrote. Like that might be a fun way to go, oh, so that's what AI thinks this page is about. Obviously, I'd want to know a thing or two about the product before I wrote my email, but it may give me a starting point to go, oh, I'll talk a little bit about this because AI thinks that part's important based off the couple thousand words in the sales copy. So I think that's a lot of fun with the tool. You could look at other courses. Like you could go to like Udemy, and we could, this is a fun way to do stuff. So let's just, we'll grab something. This is all programming stuff because I'm a nerd, but we'll click on one of these ones. And so it talks about, it kind of has these bullet points of what you're going to learn, but they also have this course content area. And this is kind of a table of contents on steroids because I can expand all the sections, and sometimes they go into real detail. Like before, it would have just been like introduction to HTML, and here it covers each little video inside that lecture. And so I could copy and paste all of that, or I could use, I believe SEO Minion will let me grab it too. We'll see. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And it's going to grab those headings, and I could just copy and paste that into Jarvis, and Jarvis could start writing the basis of my course, because each one of these elements, this is 55 hours of content. So each one of these could be their own product. Like this front-end web development is 42 minutes. Well, that I could make my own kind of version of that part of the course just off their bullet points. Now, I'd want to know a thing or two about the topic, obviously, but this is a great way to go, people are not, there's 142,000 ratings for this course. There's 445,000 students. And these people are, I don't know how much they paid for it, but they're paying money for this course. Obviously, they were struggling to find free information on this if they're going to Udemy to buy it. So I could buy this individual course and may get this price, may not. Looks like it's on sale right now today for $19. It's normally $120 right now. So like I know Udemy has flash sales every once in a while, but still that's quite a bit of money for someone just putting up a course and putting it on Udemy. And so we could model that and then use direct response marketing principles to make better versions of these courses that we already see are popular online in our niche, in an area of expertise that we have, and know that here's the stuff we need to create content on. Here's how we're going to make better sales copy. So we're going to make more sales than these Udemy courses because we know marketing, we know how to drive traffic. We've got an email list, we've got relationships that we can call favors on, and we can get those affiliates pushing sales for these information products that we're creating. We're basing it off of other people's content and making it incredibly our own, and really expanding on it with Jarvis and helping it guide great product research without having to spend a bunch of time and money and effort researching your market. You can just do this and look at what's selling already and make your own version of it.
Makes sense. And what did you think of Genie? Did you like it better than WordTune or no?
I think it has potential. I know they've got some lifetime deal on it, so I'll probably pick up their lifetime deal just to see. I think it was on SaaS Mantra. And that's how I found out about it. And so I downloaded the extension to see what it was.
Where'd you find it? At SaaS what? I don't know that
SaaS Mantra?
SaaS
Mantra? Yeah, I think so. I think that was the site. And they had some lifetime deal. It was like $80, I think, for Genie. But it looks like it has some interesting summarization features. So I just downloaded their free Chrome extension to see what the Chrome extension could do. And I'm going to do a little more research and probably pick that up because it looks interesting. Because anytime that you can give Jarvis kind of a starting point, you're going to create better content. And if I can use a tool like WordTune or Genie to create an AI summary of content where I'm not plagiarizing anyone, I'm much more comfortable using that as the basis of my content versus just copying and pasting someone else's headers for their article or for their Udemy course and making my own version of it. Like I would much rather have Genie or WordTune, summarize it so I know this is the stuff that's really important. This is kind of the, you're 80-20ing it with looking at the outline, and then you're kind of 80-20ing it again by having the outline summarized by an AI tool.
That makes total sense. That makes total sense. Yeah. And very cool. Yeah. And I could see how that would help quite dramatically. Is there would you, like, let's say you had like a summary of all those points, right? Like, would you then put all those points in? Or, like, once again, I'm like, trying to understand what the best.
You could. I know when we talked privately, you were coming up with like a podcast on, I think, membership sites.
Right.
And so you could look at like maybe the top 10 articles, like blog posts about membership sites. And then you could use a tool like WordTune or Genie to kind of summarize those. And so, it creates a little blurb about each one. Instead of you spending your time reading all those articles, which might take a couple hours, you could read those summaries in a matter of minutes and go, oh, I like that point. I like that point. I like that point. That's an interesting stat. And then you've got your presentation. So you could do that, 20 minutes before your call, and you've got everything done.
That's not bad. I'd like that. All right. And what else should we cover? Any idea?
Well, any questions from people so far? I mean, I could be on here all day. So I love this tool.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Could Jarvis be employed to rewrite copy for a cookbook, or is that beyond its pay grade?
So my understanding of copyright law, and I'm not an attorney, the elements of the recipe where it's like a tablespoon of sugar, that you could just copy, no problem. It's the descriptive part of, turn on the oven to 350 degrees, put, 3/4 a stick of butter in, and this is how it, you make the actual, apple pie or whatever. That is where you have to change it. That descriptive part is what you have to change. But the ingredients list, that, I believe, I'm not an attorney, you can just use as is and verbatim, but it's the description. So what I would do is I would take a cookbook that you like, and let's say there's a recipe that you really enjoy. I would take the description that they have, I would put that into Jarvis, and I would have Jarvis rewrite that description. And now you've got your own apple pie recipe that should pass Copyscape. You shouldn't have any legal issues with. Now, consult an attorney, because I'm not one, but that's how I interpret U.S. copyright law for how recipes work. It's the ingredients list. It's fair game. It's just the description you have to change.
And what would you say is a feature that you know about, or that you know about, or that you're most excited about that's coming down the pike, or that you think is coming down the pike, if that makes sense?
Well, I mean, really the recipe thing is new. I think we're going to see so much with that, because I know they're working on a lot of stuff with that. I know they've been putting together a jobs board. There's a lot of people that don't really want to learn how to master Jarvis, but would like to hire someone to just create articles. So I think, or create whatever content for them. So I think that has a lot of potential for people. I think, some people that want to do kind of the whole freelance thing, they could get Jarvis, learn how to use it, figure out some of these recipes, and they could make a full-time living just using these recipes and creating content for other people, doing kind of that agency model, whether it be on Fiverr or Upwork or actual local businesses that they work with. And they could do sales letters or blog posts, whatever, for these other people. And they're just going to be using these recipes, maybe even make their own recipes. And they're not going to have to learn a lot of the other marketing stuff and still make good money. So I think that has a lot of potential. I think the recipes in and of themselves are going to be a lot of fun, because it's so much fun. Like, I know I shared a Stream Deck profile with you a couple days ago, and for those that don't know what that is, it's basically a little push button tool to let you run macros on your computer. And so you can push a button and it'll open up Jarvis. You can push a button and it'll create a new document. You can push a button and it'll start writing a blog post, that kind of thing, with Jarvis. And so it's really a lot of fun. So we're going to see more of that, because I've seen other people take that idea and expand on it. I've seen people look at other people's recipes, if you will, and they'll put their own flair to it and improve it. I think we'll have a directory of recipes. Maybe it'll even be some recipes might be paid. I mean, what if someone like yourself, Rich, went in and goes, this is what I use to do whatever. Well, here's a recipe that you might sell for $100 or something, and people are going to buy that, and maybe you'll earn money from that, and that could be an interesting revenue stream. I think right now we're kind of seeing them as the kind of ClickFunnels share funnel mode of operation, where people are just going to share those. If those could get tagged to our affiliate ID, which I think they've figured that out now, I think that could be really useful with recipes, because then you've got that viral aspect of sharing those recipes and also earning commissions from it. So really it boils down to recipes and automation and where the whole community is going to drive things, because I feel that the whole Jarvis team is really, really good about pushing the needle forward and listening to their customers and creating new tools and improving their product based off the feedback from their user base.
Yeah, I totally agree. And this seems like a no-brainer question, so we might as well answer it. Will this help? Yeah, will this help SEO and for blog for e-commerce website? So what's the answer?
Yes. So, for instance, let's say that you have like a Shopify store, and maybe you found a product on AliExpress. And I don't know about you, but you see a lot of those AliExpress descriptions, and they're kind of clunky, and usually it's written by someone where English isn't their first language, but it does give you a couple bullet points. There may be some misspellings, but you could copy that content, you could put it into Jarvis, and then you could have Jarvis write a better product description, or have Jarvis write like an AIDA for it, or a problem agitate solution for it. And you're going to have better sales copy to have in your online store. You could also look at, say, maybe you want to be an Amazon affiliate. You could look at an Amazon listing, grab the description or grab a couple reviews, put that into Jarvis, and have Jarvis kind of come up with your own content. And that way you've got your own review of a particular product. And then you could start promoting that as an Amazon affiliate or a Best Buy affiliate or a Walmart affiliate or whatever you're promoting. The sky's the limit. There's probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of affiliate programs now. And you could use this to improve on other copy, other resources you see. You could look at other people's sites that are ranking for something. Like, let's say, I don't know if CLR Winners has an affiliate program. Well, let's say that CLR Winners has an affiliate program, and people had a review, like CLR Winners bonus and review, and people search for that, and they got this whole long page. You could, in theory, take that content and you could run it through Jarvis and improve each section of it, and now you've got your own version of that product review and bonus that you could offer, and start siphoning off some of those sales of people searching for CLR Winners review. And you can do that for any product. And so that's a business model that, if you figure that out and you figure out either a recipe to do it or a kind of a game plan, you can really systemize this, where you could have like some Filipinos just creating all your content for you inside of Jarvis while you're doing whatever you want. It's just a matter of figuring out Jarvis and getting to that point. And then they could be creating kind of this content mill, if you will, and just creating all the content and marketing materials that you need. And then you just drive traffic to it. And that could be another person that focuses on the SEO or the paid traffic methods, or focuses on growing your email list. There's so much that you can do with it. And it really just takes a lot of the heavy lifting, a lot of the creative juices off of you, so you can focus on other things in your life that you enjoy doing more.
And that makes sense to me. And so, like, I'm just trying to think of other valuable questions to ask you as we have you for, you won't be here you won't be here on Thursday. So would you like, do you think, like, once you get like at your level, right? Like, if you were if you were working on a project that you really cared about, like the outcome, right? Like a sales letter, like, how much time would you spend on research ahead of time to put in the right words? How much time would you spend with the recipe, kind of tweaking it, and so that you left with something that you could really use, whether that's really used from a standpoint of a shitty first draft or like whatever your bar is for the output?
Yeah. Really, I think this boils down to anything with marketing. It's all about knowing your customer, knowing your audience, knowing what they need, what their hot buttons are. So I'd almost say 90% of it's research. And that goes with any sort of writing, any sort of marketing. The more that, if you understand your customers better than they understand themselves, you're going to make the sale. So if you can do that and you can figure out what they really want and what problems they need solved, you're going to be so much further ahead of the pack. And a lot of that can be automated with tools, things like Genie or WordTune or SEO Minion. You can have it, download a lot of that data. There's tons of other tools out there that can download this information, and you could, put it into some sort of like word cloud, if you will, and see what the most popular words and phrases are. You could use like Helium 10 and look at the different reviews on Amazon and see what the good and bad reviews were and what were the common things. And that way you can make a better product for things. There's so much that you can do.
But like, it's like, I get that, right? But like, I know the internet marketing community pretty well, but I don't know necessarily what to put into, into Jarvis to get the output that I want. Like, and I don't know, because it's this open space above, right? Like, I don't know how to get Jarvis to know that, like, okay, now I'm writing about the prospect. Do not write about the prospect, but this is the information about the prospect. Like, these are their problems. Like, and maybe I'm thinking about this in like too detail of a way. I tend to over process that way, but like, yeah, I'm not, just because I know it doesn't mean I can get that into Jarvis. And, it's like, yeah, like steal our winners. Like what, like, I feel it's a solution where most people are time pressed, right? But we're delivering winning strategies. The alternative is courses. They take too long. But like, most people, like, where does all that information go so that Jarvis can really leverage it, right? Because we're talking about something that, there's not like a lot of corollaries to what we deliver. And so there's like, when I try and put stuff in, if I use steal our winners, like steal then becomes like a focal point. And it's not, right? Like winning marketing strategies delivered to marketers every month. Like, I don't know what to put in there. And so that's where my frustration comes from. And I don't know if other people are frustrated in that way or not, but like, since I'm not seeing any other questions, I might as well ask my personal questions.
Far away with those. That's totally fine. What I think of Steal Our Winners is it's really like condensed, actionable marketing strategies from like millionaire marketers showing what's working in the trenches right now. And they're not going to get access to information anywhere else. So it's kind of exclusive, timely training for very implementable stuff. It's almost like attending a high-level mastermind and someone's sharing their biggest, brightest, best tip right now that's working. And so I think putting some of that information into this content description brief part, you have up to 600 characters here, kind of describing exactly what Steal Our Winners is, and maybe not using the phrase Steal Our Winners, but just exactly what it is, would be a good way to guide Jarvis for your marketing efforts with that.
So is the stuff on the left there, like, do those hold more weight, less weight, equal weight to what's above? Like, is there any kind of breakdown of that?
I don't know. I don't know what the percentage is. I know I can turn those on and off as time goes on. So if I don't want to reference some of this material, I can change it. I can edit this on the fly. And I know that I don't use this section a whole lot myself, but I know the Jarvis team likes using this section. So I believe that there's some strong benefits to using this. I would imagine that they've put a high weight towards what's in here, but I don't know for a fact.
And this is a good question. Like, it actually opens up something like, and then we'll get to Christopher's. Okay, so as Jarvis has only covered 10% of the internet, how and only up until 2019 will that be updated? For example, Jarvis would not know about Steal Our Winners. And I was thinking, yeah, I wouldn't know about Steal Our Winners, but it probably also wouldn't know about COVID, right? Like if it was, unless they've been updating it somehow, like anyway, right? Like, because it was.
And at some point, I'm sure it'll eventually get updated. That's
right,
really
yeah, of course.
AI issue. And it's extremely expensive to do that. I think it costs multiple millions of dollars, like several millions of dollars to do GPT-3. So at some point that may get updated. What you can do is you can kind of give it a little bit to go off of. Like, for instance, I've taken like a news article and popped it in, and it can, summarize it or expand on it or continue to the flow of that article, and it'll have stuff that it doesn't know about, like the latest iPhone or, COVID-19 or whatever, something new, like a new movie coming out. It would have had no idea about that in 2019. But I gave it information that it can kind of mimic where that conversation was going, where that text is going, and expand on it or expound on it and make better content because of that. And I don't have to do any thinking. It's really just Jarvis doing it and go, oh, that makes sense, or whoa, that's way off, and tweak it a little bit with whatever your knowledge of the topic is. So that's really, it goes back to the whole like garbage in, garbage out. The more you can feed it and the more detail you can give Jarvis, the better.
Makes sense. And so Dr. Vogelman wants to know, what's the best strategy to write a book from scratch? Genie or word tune thrown into Jarvis? ?
So really what I would do with that, there's a book by Darby Rollins and Zachary Stratford called Published with Jarvis, and they actually used Jarvis to write the book. They'd actually be good guests for you to have on, Rich. And they really walk through kind of step by step, day by day, what to do over the course of 7 days. They also have like a masterclass coaching program on how to do that as well. And that goes in more detail. But basically, they talk about kind of how to research your book on day one, and how to create your outline on day 2, and day 3 is like actually writing the book. And then, like day 4, 5, 6, 7 are, kind of some editing and doing your cover and putting it up on Amazon and all that kind of stuff. And so basically it's really researching what is working in your existing market. What are the kind of common themes of different books in your market, and what are some of the things that you need to hit on? And that may be using a tool like Helium 10 and really digging in to, some of those books on Amazon. It could be looking at the table of contents. It could be looking at the reviews. That's going to help you create better books and better content than someone that's just throwing spaghetti at the wall. And so you create your outline, you create your kind of table of contents, if you will, and then you use Jarvis to write and expand, and you could interject some of your own personal anecdotes and stories about said topic, because Jarvis isn't going to know that information. And you could even give Jarvis just a couple bullets on that, and Jarvis is going to make it a better story than what you're going to come up with. And you have that information, you put that into your book, and then you've got a book that you can sell and start marketing online. Now you've got this printed book, and that opens a lot more doors for you. It might open speaking engagements or just other opportunities for you, because you have this published book. People see you in a different light. You become that expert. You're elevated to a whole new level of status because you have that authority. You are now an author. That's where author comes from. It means authority.
Yep. And so what were the names of the people that you recommended that maybe I might have?
Darby Rollins and Zachariah Stratford. They wrote that together. So Darby is a expert Jarvis user, and Zachariah owns or runs a company called The Book Patch, and that's like a self-publishing kind of thing. And they've published like 60,000 books or something, like different book titles. So seems to know what they're doing.
Very cool. And you're friendly with them?
Yeah. I've been on their, I've talked to their group several times.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah, if you can make a connection for me, that'd be great. I'd love that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Love to talk.
I'll do that right after
Cool.
this call.
So anything else that we should cover, or we can wrap early? Like if, you know, unless there's something pressing on your side that you think we should still cover.
Not really. I mean, if there's any questions from you or audience people, totally fine. Otherwise, I'm good. I think they can go to my website. They should sign up for a trial of Jarvis. They can go to my website and get some of these recipes. And there's more recipes being put up all the time by myself and others.
Yep. Take a screenshot. It's imreviewandbonus.com/Jarvis-recipes. And you can get the trial here, and you'll get 10,000 free words written by Jarvis, guided by some of the stuff that we did today. So very cool, man. Dr. Vogelman put the link in there, and awesome. So Reed, this has been a pleasure. And, I want to thank you for not only for helping us here, but you've really helped a lot of people. I mean, I hear your name all the time, and it's kind of become synonymous with conversion AI. When I was talking to Molly Mahoney, she was singing your praises, saying how awesome it is to log into the Facebook group and see you develop another recipe or another strategy for getting the most out of conversion AI. So they're very fortunate to have you as a power user. I can say that for sure.
Well, thank you, Rich. Thanks for having me. It was my pleasure to be here.
Very cool, man. Well, we'll talk soon. I'd love it if you could put me in touch with Darby and Zachariah. And you should be following what this gentleman has to say. If you use conversion AI and you're not a part of the Facebook group, you should. That's where Reed shares a lot of this stuff there and on his website. And there's just a lot of activity in that group. So it's a good group to be a part of. And just thanks, Reed. This has been awesome.
Awesome. Thanks again, Rich.
All right, guys. We'll end here, and to Higher Profits Beyond, we'll be back on Thursday, where I'll be talking about copywriting, but I'm not sure yet what part of copywriting I'm going to talk about. Kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for. Ryan wanted me to cover research, which would fit very well into what you're talking about, but I just don't know if I'm up for talking 2 hours about copywriting research. I might want to talk about something else. So we'll post a thumbnail tomorrow, or sometime towards the end of the day tomorrow, and we'll keep everyone, I guess, in the dark. It'll be like an open loop until tomorrow. So until then, until Thursday, to Higher Profits Beyond, Rich Schefren and Reed Floren signing